Most people think manipulation is obvious. They imagine villains, liars, masterminds pulling strings in the shadows. But the truth is, the most dangerous manipulation doesn't look dangerous at all. It looks like love, it sounds like concern, it feels like connection, and that's why it works. There was a time when I didn't understand why certain conversations left me doubting myself, why some people could twist reality so smoothly that I'd apologize for things I never did, why I felt emotionally drained while they seemed completely fine. I thought I was overthinking. I thought I was too sensitive. I thought the problem was me. But it wasn't. What I was experiencing had a name. Dark psychology. Not magic, not mind control, not some secret forbidden art. Just an understanding of human behavior used without empathy. And once I started seeing the patterns, the gaslighting, the love bombing, the silent control, the subtle guilt, I realized something terrifying. The most powerful control isn't physical, it's psychological. In this video, I'm going to break down what dark psychology really is, how it works, how people use it without you noticing, and most importantly, how to protect yourself from it. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it, and once you understand it, you stop being controlled. I'm going to tell you something most people don't admit. I didn't study dark psychology because I wanted power. I studied it because I felt powerless. There was a time in my life when I couldn't understand what was happening around me. Certain people always seemed to control the room without raising their voice. Some could lie so smoothly that even when you caught them, you still questioned yourself. Some relationships left me emotionally drained, mentally exhausted, and somehow convinced that everything was my fault. I used to replay conversations in my head at night. Overanalyze tone, overanalyze pauses, overanalyze facial expressions. I would ask myself, did I misunderstand? Did I overreact? Am I the problem? That's what manipulation does. It doesn't just control you, it makes you doubt yourself. And when you doubt yourself long enough, you start shrinking, you speak less, you question more, you apologize even when you're not wrong. That's when I realized something wasn't right. Then I came across the concept of dark psychology. At first, I thought it sounded dramatic, like something from a crime documentary or a villain origin story. But the more I studied it, the more I understood something chilling. Dark psychology isn't dramatic, it's subtle, it's calculated, and it's everywhere. Dark psychology is simply the use of psychological principles to manipulate, influence, or control others without empathy. It's not a supernatural skill, it's not mind control, it's understanding human behavior and exploiting it. It's knowing what people fear and pressing on it. It's knowing what people crave and dangling it in front of them. It's knowing what people value and using it as leverage. And the people who use it don't always look evil. Sometimes they're charming, sometimes they're intelligent, sometimes they're attractive, sometimes they're respected, sometimes they're the person everyone else thinks is amazing. One of the first tactics I experienced, without knowing it, was gaslighting. Gaslighting is when someone manipulates you into doubting your own memory, perception, or sanity. I remember being told, "That never happened. You're remembering it wrong. You're too emotional. You always exaggerate." At first, I tried to defend myself. I explained, I clarified, I brought up details. But slowly, something shifted. Instead of defending facts, I started defending my sanity. Instead of trusting my memory, I started questioning it. Instead of feeling confident in what I saw and heard, I began asking for reassurance. And that's when I understood the real goal of gaslighting. It's not to win an argument, it's to make you dependent on the manipulator's version of reality. If they can control your perception, they can control you. Then there was love bombing, and this one is dangerous because it feels beautiful. The attention is intense, the compliments are constant, the connection feels instant.
It feels like you've finally been seen, finally understood, finally chosen. You're different. I've never opened up like this before. You're the only one who gets me. It feels like destiny. But what I learned is this: real connection grows steadily. It's built through consistency, through time, through mutual vulnerability. Manipulation moves fast. Love bombing creates emotional attachment quickly. It floods you with validation. And once you're attached, once you've invested, the energy shifts. The messages slow down, the warmth becomes inconsistent, the attention becomes conditional, and you start chasing the version of them from the beginning. You're no longer building something real.
You're trying to earn back a feeling that was strategically given. And then comes the silent treatment. Silence, when healthy, is space. It's reflection. It's emotional regulation. But in dark psychology, silence is a weapon. It's used to create anxiety. When someone withdraws communication without explanation, your brain goes into problem-solving mode. You replay conversations, you analyze mistakes, you search for what you did wrong. The discomfort builds, and when they finally return, you feel relief. That relief strengthens your attachment. They create the pain, and then they become the cure. That's conditioning. Projection was another tactic that shocked me. Projection is when someone accuses you of the exact behavior they're guilty of. If they're lying, they call you dishonest. If they're flirting behind your back, they accuse you of disloyalty. If they're manipulative, they label you controlling. It's psychological misdirection. It forces you into defense mode, and when you're busy defending yourself, you're not observing them. Dark psychology works because most people are good. Most people assume honesty. Most people assume empathy. Most people assume that others feel guilt when they cause harm. Manipulators rely on that assumption. They study your insecurities, they test your boundaries, they watch how much you tolerate. And if you're someone who hates conflict, who wants harmony, who fears abandonment, who overthinks, you become easier to control. I had to confront something uncomfortable. Being kind without boundaries isn't strength, it's vulnerability. Empathy without self-respect becomes self-betrayal, and love without standards becomes desperation. Learning about dark psychology didn't make me cold, it made me observant. I started paying attention to patterns instead of promises. Anyone can say the right words. Consistency is harder to fake. I stopped explaining myself repeatedly to people committed to misunderstanding me. I stopped chasing clarity from people who benefited from my confusion. I began setting boundaries calmly, clearly. And something interesting happened. Healthy people respected them. Manipulative people reacted to them. They pushed back, they guilt-tripped. They accused me of changing, of being distant, of being difficult. But that reaction told me everything. Boundaries don't push healthy people away. They expose unhealthy ones. The biggest shift of all was internal. I stopped trying to prove my reality to people who denied it. I stopped needing validation from those who withheld it strategically. I stopped shrinking to keep others comfortable. Dark psychology isn't about learning how to manipulate. It's about recognizing when someone is manipulating you. It's about awareness, because once you see the patterns, you can't unsee them. You recognize inconsistency. You notice emotional triggers being pulled. You feel when guilt is being manufactured. You observe when affection is being weaponized. And instead of reacting emotionally, you respond consciously. The strongest person in the room isn't the loudest. It isn't the most dominant. It isn't the one pulling invisible strings. It's the one who cannot be emotionally hijacked. The one who stays calm when provoked. The one who walks away when disrespected. The one who trusts their perception. The one who doesn't need control, because they have self-control. Dark psychology loses its power the moment you become aware of it. And awareness begins with one decision: to trust yourself again. Once you do that, everything changes.